my name is Ana Doak and welcome to Nanay Anay. Well, today's video, I got my husband here again, and we're gonna do again another kind of sequel of the part two. Not really part two, but no, like I want to do a video about the opposite of our video from last time.
Yeah, before we did things you should know about being married to a Filipina.
Yes.
Now we're going to talk about things you should know being married to an American.
Before marrying an American. Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, guys, we live in the Philippines. We're married for 15 years, and we have 10 children. Yeah, you heard that right. We have 10 children. But anyway, so if you wanna know more about our channel, about our family, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll get updated of our videos every time we post. We post every Wednesday and Saturday, 6 p.m. Manila time. I just want to give you that thing, guys, before we proceed, but let's go.
6 p.m. is also 5 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah, Eastern time. So, okay, so these are the 10 things you need to know before marrying an American. Number 1 in our list. Okay, well, I just want to say first.
In no particular order.
Yeah, in no particular order. Disclaimer, again, these are the things that I observed, with my how I've been around with Americans, both here in the Philippines and in the U.S. I lived in the U.S. for 8 years, before we moved here in the Philippines, and so I was exposed, to America, and these are the things that I noticed when I moved there. Characters and
with all the different Americans you've been married to.
Anyway, so let's proceed. Number 1, neighbor privacy. Number 1, neighbor privacy. So to the Filipinos there who wanted to, if you want to hook up with an American, your husband will appreciate neighbor privacy. Here in the Philippines, our neighbors could just go to our house anytime, any day of the week. But when you go to the U.S., you cannot expect to do that.
Yeah, in the Philippines, it's pretty common for houses to share walls.
Oh yeah.
So you're actually kind of, the construction is weird here. It's kind of fly by the seat of your pants. It's pretty common for houses to touch or share walls, or if not that, be very, very close. And there's no soundproofing at all. There's no attempt to restrict airflow like you do in the U.S. In the U.S., temperatures get very cold, and you need to have a reasonably airtight home when you're heating it in the winter, so you can't hear your neighbors. You're usually 10, 20, 30, sometimes even further apart. The homes are quite far apart, so you have a lot of privacy just kind of built in to the way the neighborhoods are laid out. But in the Philippines, it's very, very different. People live much closer together here, and so there's not as much privacy.
Yeah. So, right. And another thing, Filipinas, if the guy will come here in the Philippines, and then if they're kind of not really okay that your neighbors are always on your home, that's the reason, they really are not the type of people that would be welcoming the neighbors every single day. Just want to make that clear. And then number 2 in our list, nicknames. Americans do not have nicknames. Compared to how we Filipinas have nicknames, all of us, I feel like all of us really have nicknames, Like my name is Anna Marie. At home, I'm called either Bebe or Babes, or that's my nickname, very far away from my name. And then or we also have workers here at home. Alex's workers, one of them, shout out to Kitty. Her name is Kitty, but her real name is Anne Christine, And then Rachel also, her nickname is Joy Joy. That's why we call her baby Joy Joy. But anyway, so again, there's
the key here is that Americans do not have as many nicknames. There are certain names that do have abbreviations, like William might be called Bill,
or Richard,
Dick. There's other names like that, but it's few and far between. For the most case, it's just the name that the person was given at birth. They might have a shorter version of it they use, but it's very closely related to their real name in the U.S. In the Philippines, it's not like that. There's commonly just a wildly different nickname is being used for somebody.
Can I include middle names here? No.
Yeah. Middle names are. Talk about that a little
and also,
bit.
like, you know, when you are married to if you wanna hook up with an American, you would expect that their middle name will be their mom's maiden name, because that's how it is here in the Philippines. Like your middle name is immediately your mother's maiden name. So when you ask your spouse, they would give you like a different middle name, and it could be like James, like, or maybe like let's say Peter James Young. You know, that the middle name is James, and we thought that his maiden name is like James, but that's not the case. Like in the U.S., they have a different system naming. You know,
in the U.S., the parents assign the first name and the middle name at birth or thereabouts. And in the Philippines, it's not like that. The forms actually ask for the mother's maiden name, and that becomes just de facto in birth certificates. The way the legal forms are built is, that becomes the child's middle name. So it's just kind of built into the legal structure in the Philippines. Now, there certainly are ways to get around that if you really wanted to, but it's a little bit more effort, I think.
Yes.
So,
Number 3 in our list. Americans are forward.
Very forward, very direct.
Straightforward. Almost to the point of being really like frank or bluntful.
Or rude. Yes.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's how it's. We come across as very rude.
Yes, for us Filipinas, because in our culture here in the Philippines, we are more like, okay, you cannot say things right in front of their face, because for us that's like being rude.
You've got to dance around it a little while and kind of be more subtle and point with your lips and things like that.
Like it's really hard to find people that are very forward, very like direct, like it always almost to the point that we would keep if there's like a problem, we would keep it to ourselves, and then we cannot say to the person like, I'm mad at you because you did this and did that. Like we would just keep it to ourselves, and then that's like the thing, because the other side of that is we don't speak out what we wanted to say, but we speak it out to a different person. So, but my point there is like they would say things straight to your face, but then it doesn't mean that they are mean. Like like they would just tell you, hey honey, let's not do that because that's not good, blah la 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 la, and then you would be offended like But then in thing is like there's actually if you listen to the statement, there's actually, he didn't mean that to hurt you.
There's no malice or there's no ill will. It's just a message that's...
Number 4 on our list, MYOB, mind your own business. I really miss this big time, when I arrived in the US, I was really like, when you go to the store, I like it that nobody would be looking at me, like when Alex and I would go to the store, like people there are just like minding their own business, you go to church, you can say hi, hello, but nobody would be staring at your face. Like in the US, if you stare at people, that is considered rude. But over here, you see,
extremely common.
You
have somebody just lock eyes and they're just staring at you for a solid minute or two.
Like I cannot walk with him or my family outside without people looking at us. Like that's like a common thing, and I'm okay with that now. But that's it. So Americans really are more of a mind your own business kind of people.
I think you do get more stares though in rural America, right?
Why?
Well, there's fewer Filipinas out in the middle of nowhere in the boonies,
Oh yeah, sure.
I think people would stare at you out there to some degree.
Yeah, but not really. I feel like the people staring here are more rude. Like it's like really like, like they might stare at me, but then only for a few seconds, but not really like a solid minute that they're just like looking at you. I think so. Okay, number 5 on our list, thank you notes. Oh my goodness. So in America, thank you notes is really like a common thing that most Americans would do. So I have a very long story about this. Be ready. When I moved to the US, Alex and I got married, and then Alex was collecting all the receipts and also the names and the names of the people who give the gifts, and then we write addresses, and then we wrote what they give us, or the amount that they give us. And then Alex was writing them, and I was really like, why is he writing this information down? Is he keeping track who gave us and what did they give us, And then so I was asking him, why are you writing them all down, and why is it that you're so particular about the receipt? And then he said, well, because we need to send thank you card notes. Okay, so I got that, that we will be sending thank you card notes to the people, but why do we need to look for the receipt? And Alex said, so we can return the item if we don't need it. It's like, what? You say thank you to them, but at the same time, you're gonna return the item? Like, that was like a big culture shock for me. Like, of course, like, I'm not used to like thank you notes. Like, thank you notes is not common here in the Philippines. But then at that time, sorry, Tay, I need to say this.
No, I don't have much to say on this. You're covering it all. Very good.
Anyway, and so when Alex told me that, and then Alex explained, because sometimes you might get something that you didn't like. You are more than welcome to return it to the store and then get something that you would really need.
Or you might get the same thing twice.
Oh yeah, like
2 or 3 toasters.
Yep. Well, it's just like, I was like, oh, like immediately at that time I was like, in the Philippines, when somebody would get married, they would be getting tons and tons of plates, like boxes and boxes of cups, or sometimes 5 rice cookers. And I was like, whoa, this is really so cool. Like, at that time, I started to immediately understand the benefits about, this is really cool. You keep the receipt, and then you can return the item. Because over here in the Philippines, when you give a present to someone and there's a receipt or even just a price tag, if there's a price tag there, that's considered like you are how do you call this one? Bragging.
Flexing.
That you're bragging, you're flexing the amount of the item that you're giving to the person. So that's considered like kind of like not really okay over here. So if you give a present, make sure that you really cover up the price tag. If you can't remove the sticker, or if you have to remove the sticker, But much more in the US, they would add the receipt. So that was like so cool. But anyway, and then after that, you have to give the thank you notes. It was still like hard for me to, to take action about sending thank you notes. Like, it took me a while. And then my Filipino friend said like, hey Anna, you really need to do that because that's part of the culture over here, like while we were in the US. So I was like, okay, so I did it. And then now thank you note is already like part of my thing. I really, when someone from the US would send us something, we make an effort about sending them thank you notes, and because I know they will really appreciate it. Yeah. Anyway, is that super long story? Number 6. You read it, Ty.
All right. Always on time. Prompt. Yeah. Late is rude, and a no-show for a scheduled appointment is even worse. And that's true for casual social get-togethers. Probably more so. If you tell somebody you're going to be there socially at a certain time, and you just blow them off and you don't show up, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's a really big deal. And also for work, for business. If you're telling somebody that you are going to be at a certain place at a certain time, they're going to fit that into their schedule. They're going to move other things around. They're not going to be available for other people at that time. And it's considered very rude to not show up for a meeting or to show up a half hour late, much less an hour late or 2 hours late. So in the US, it's very much a monochronic, I think is what they call it, versus a polychronic. In the Philippines, you can schedule 2, 3, 4 things at the same exact time, and you'll miss 2 of them, and you'll be late for the 3rd. And it's okay. It's like, it is okay, because the people in the culture understand that when you agree to do something at a certain time, it's not a real commitment. It's like maybe, if it doesn't rain,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of flexibility in schedules in the Philippines, which makes it so
Yeah.
laid back. It makes it a great place to vacation. The people are very forgiving and gracious. And so there's a lot of benefits to having that kind of laid back culture. But
Yeah.
if you're in the U.S., it's not like that. They want to
No.
get things done.
Yeah.
They value their time. Time is money, and you've got to be there on
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, they have high value on time. That's why it's not okay. Like in the U.S., if somebody will send you an invite, there's always a thing RSVP. Because and then before you RSVP, you really need, like for me, I need to communicate it to my husband. Like if I'm invited to a baby shower, I need to let my husband know that I'm invited to a baby shower, because that would mean he has to watch the children. So my point there is like, because Alex has to take time off work, but again, let's go back to the time, like my point there is like over there, before you say things that, oh, you will show up to the shower, or you will show up to the party, you need to give them a heads up if it's a yes or a no. Yeah, and then because also people also will prepare food, but la 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 la.
Yeah, and if you're running late, typically you don't need to let the other person know if you're running late. If you're only going to be 5 minutes late or less, that's almost not even considered late. It's just,
Yeah, but if it's 20 minutes.
Although even then, if they show up 5 to 10 minutes late, they'll apologize for being late. Usually. But if you're going to be more than 5 minutes late, it's customary to contact the person, call, text, email, whatever you have to do, to let them know I'm on my way, I'm going to be there, but I will be 10 minutes late or 15 minutes late or whatever it may be.
Yes.
So that's how tight they are on time, in meetings and appointments. And it's also, if you need to cancel, it's okay. You don't have to show up, but you have to let them know. As soon as you know that you can't be there, it's expected that you'll let them know, hey, that time isn't going to work.
Yeah.
Right? So it can't be last minute. Last minute cancellations are considered rude.
Yes, that is.
And canceling or a no-show, we call it a no-show, when you don't cancel the meeting, you just don't show up. And you don't contact them.
Oh, that's
and just
really
a half
bad.
hour goes by. That's almost unthinkable, right?
Yeah.
So last minute cancellations are bad, but it happens. But you're always expected to reach out. Of course, unless there's some emergency like a car accident or whatever.
Yeah. Like here in the Philippines, most common things that the reason why they're late is the traffic. Like that's like the thing. But in the US, if they know that it's a traffic, like it's like a
You're
time.
expected to account for traffic.
Yes. Yeah. But then
you should just know that the traffic takes this amount of time on this part of the day.
Yes.
Like
So you have to
traffic's
travel.
not an excuse.
So you have to travel earlier. If it's like a rush hour, time, then you have to travel earlier so you can make to your appointment at a specific time. But over here, the Philippines, traffic, that's like a thing. Oh, there's a long traffic. That's why I was not able to make it on time.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes. Number 7, no sachet. All shopping is bulk shopping.
Yes.
Yeah, this is like a really big thing for me when I moved to the US. Like I noticed like when you go inside the store, Americans would like get a big shopping cart. It's so rare that you would find someone who would grab a basket. Like just a small basket. In most cases, it's really like a big shopping cart. And when they go there, they would really like fill up their baskets with groceries, and it's always like bulk shopping.
Well, even if you have a basket that you're using to shop, like at a convenience store, there's no single serve toothpaste.
Yeah.
There's no single serve shampoo.
You can only find single serve shampoo at the hotel.
Yeah, you can't buy it at a convenience store. You buy a bottle at a convenience store.
Yeah, a bottle, like the small bottle.
Yeah, you might get a small bottle, but it's a bottle. That would be considered like a bulk shopping in the Philippines. That's like, oh wow, that's a 3-month supply or whatever.
Yeah.
Or even a 1-month supply is like, wow, they rarely do that. Well, I shouldn't say rarely.
Yeah.
It's very common for people to buy 1 day's worth of shampoo or toilet paper or soap or whatever it may be.
That's why sari-sari store is common in the Philippines also.
Yeah, there's a lot of homes that don't have refrigerators, so they're used to buying the food they just need for that day.
Yeah.
because they have no refrigeration.
Yeah, like Filipinas, when you go shopping really at when you when you go to the US and you first went shop, or even here in the Philippines, you don't need to go to the US. So if you notice that your guy, if you go grocery shopping and if you notice your guy is grabbing for the big bottle of shampoo instead of the single sachet, that's the reason, because let's go back, they value their time. They have no time to go grocery shopping every single day. That's why they buy things in bulk.
And I don't know if this is a different topic, but there's no Sukis in the U.S.
Oh yeah, there's no
There's no sorry stores, and there's no Sukis.
But at a farmer's market, you could build a Suki relationship.
Farmers markets are few and far between. They're not commonplace like a Walgreens. You can't go in like it's over
unlike
here
the
they
wet
have
market, it's constant.
They have sorry stores here. In the U.S., there's no little tiny stores where you can buy little one-offs.
Yeah.
And if you don't have money, you just tell them, I'll pay tomorrow. That doesn't fly at a Walgreens, right?
Yeah,
you
like a sorry store is kind of like 7-Eleven, but downsize it to like from if 7-Eleven is size 10, sorry store is 1.
And it's not a franchise.
Oh yeah, it's not a
franchise. And it's entirely owned and operated by your next door neighbor.
Yes.
Like it's a thing that doesn't exist in the U.S. at all.
Not at all.
No.
Nope. Well, number 8 on our list, toilet paper is essential. Yeah, in America, Americans really consider toilet paper as one of their basic necessities.
Yep.
And
can't go without toilet paper.
Yeah.
We don't have the scooper. They don't wash with water. They don't have a bucket of water and a scooper. Totally different experience in the bathroom in the U.S.
Yes.
You got toilet paper.
Yeah.
And you use it.
Yeah.
And you flush it sometimes even.
Yeah.
No lie. They flush toilet paper in the U.S.
Yeah. Not over here.
Not over here. Not in the Philippines.
Yeah, it's really it's a different dynamic over here when it comes to if you have a flushing toilet over here, that's like, oh, they have a flushing toilet.
It's high end.
Yeah, it's high end because usually you just use a bucket of water to flush flush the toilet. It's like so different. But over in the US, they have like that flushing toilet, and you put your toilet paper in the toilet. Yeah. Next, number 9. Americans are more of a DIY on most things. DIY, like do it yourself. So if you notice that your American partner would go to like over here in the Philippines, if they would go to a store and then they wanted to buy materials, that's because they're more really, I feel like Americans really are more in a DIY, kind of
home repair. You fix things up yourself.
Yeah.
You make your living space a little bit better. You have some basics, handyman skills, that kind of stuff.
And I feel like not only in the men, even in the women, I think that's why Pinterest is very popular in the US, is because, they really have that, let's do it ourselves, like
they've got Lowe's and Home Depot, and you can go in there and buy whatever you need to do little projects.
Yes. Like I never thought that I would. Like when we first got married, Alex was changing the oil of our vehicle and changing the brake pads of our vehicle, and I was like so nervous about doing that, and I was like, I will never get on that car. I will never get on the car. The first time we would be driving it around, like wow, like that is like beyond my, beyond my wildest imagination that my husband
would do your own brakes.
Yeah, you could do your own brakes. Like I was like, wow, that is so crazy. But then the more I get to know people over there, it's like, oh, they changed their own brakes. Because it's really expensive to hire a mechanic over there, And I was like, okay, and then it's like if if there's something at home, like you can even how do you say this? Like
replace a doorknob,
or like if your oven is not set on the right temperature, you can calibrate your own oven yourself. I did that myself, I was like, Alex is like, look it up in Google, my love, look up how to calibrate your own oven. And so I did, like again, I was able to adapt into that culture about DIY, do it yourself, to fix most things at home. And I did it, and I was just like, I like that. I really like that, wish more people would be like that. Right. Next.
Throwaway
Number
society.
10. Yeah, throwaway society. I wouldn't, like in the US, okay, this is like different level of being a throwaway society. You know, other people, there are people that are super rich that almost like every spring they would do a spring cleaning, and whatever things they have at home that they don't find good use anymore, they would donate it to like Salvation Army or Goodwill, or sometimes they would put it outside their home, and there's gonna be like you like in their mindset that's like trash. But then for other people, that's treasure. So you can really like get those things and bring it home, or you can go to a dumpster, and then there might be some things that are really like usable. But I feel like in the Philippines we're more of a hoarder. Like we will never throw things. Like I will never throw away a Pyrex dish. Like never. Never. I've never heard a single Filipina who would throw away a Pyrex dish, or even a refrigerator, or even a television. Have you ever seen a Filipino who would throw away a television? Even their junky car. They will never throw away their junky car. They have a junk car, you know, that's like just parked, you know, in their yard. They will never throw that away. Well, in the U.S.,
there's a very active secondhand market.
Yes.
You know, donations, Goodwill, you know, eBay, Craigslist. There's a lot of secondhand stuff getting moved around.
Yeah.
Yard sales are very common.
Yard sale, garage sale.
Yep, or just straight up giving it to somebody you know who might need it. You're just trying to get rid of junk occasionally.
Yeah.
And you're buying new stuff.
Oh, yes,
half
yes.
the time, you know.
Yeah, and I remember like I was just at the park, I was just at the playground, and then I was playing with my children, and then a lady approached me, like said, "Hey, do you want some clothes?" And I was like, "For your children?" I was like, "Oh, sure, why not?" And you know, and then she handed me these, you know, clothes, and they were even like brand new, and she forgot about them, and she gave it to me, you know. Anyway, that's just like a thing. Somebody's waste could be somebody's treasure. But anyway, so yeah, that's it. That's it for today. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it's kind of like a good balance with what we had discussed last time about 10 things you need to know before marrying a Filipina. Now it's my turn. 10 things you need to know before marrying an American. And thank you so much, guys, for this really nice comments, you know, about that content. And then thank you so much, guys, for watching our video. I really appreciate that. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit again the subscribe button so you'll get and hit the notification bell so you'll be updated of our video of all our videos of Nanay and I. Thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate you, and we love you so much. Bye bye.
Bye bye.